All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the 14th episode 500 Miles. This is Adam Ruckman, your normal host. Joining me today is Jack Farmer, who I've met back at Dover a few times. Nice to have you on tonight, Jack.
Good to be on, Adam. It was great getting to know you more earlier this year, and I'm really excited to be on.
Yeah, absolutely. So for this week, got a lot to talk about. A really big news week, but especially having to do with what happened this past weekend at Daytona and going into Darlington and Portland this coming week. So first off, definitely got to start by mentioning how who won the race, which was Ryan Blaney, winning over a bunch of teams outside the playoffs trying to dogfight their way in. But Blaney came swinging in at the right moment and prevented such from happening.
Yeah, he came out of nowhere, like those last couple laps. Like, I think he went from 13th to first in the last couple laps. I think I saw someone say that. Like, he just came flying up the outside lane.
And we haven't seen anything like that happen in a long time. I mean, I've even seen some people compare that to Earnhardt going from 18th to first. I mean, I think that's a bit of a
That's what I thought
stretch.
of.
I'm thinking that's a bit of a stretch, but I mean, it did happen. So Ryan Blaney ended up picking the win, and this was a really great race at Daytona. It always feels like that, in my opinion, the 400 milers in the past few years have really actually been better than the Daytona 500 in terms of racing, which I wouldn't normally say, but I feel like maybe we've gotten to that point now.
Yeah, I thought this year's 500 was pretty good. I think we've gotten to the point where the product with the next gen car is actually better at Daytona than it is Talladega. And we've actually noticed that it's the best at Atlanta, so I think the narrower the track is, it actually benefits the next gen racing better.
On the super in terms of super speedways. I think it's
Yeah.
something to think about. And I mean both the Daytona 500 and the 400 miler Coke 400. I thought they both were great races, but I mean this one I've seen people say potentially race of the year contender.
I mean, back-to-back race of the year contenders, because Richmond was a really good race, in my opinion, as well.
Richmond was a heater. So we go through a bunch of the results here. Ryan Blaney took home the checkered flag, and because of him winning, he admittedly owes Alex Bowman, like, I think they said 7 million beers. Yeah.
Yeah, the
So
graphic they put out for that was funny.
so Alex Bowman, because no one knew one, is gonna be able to race for a championship this year. And we'll get into the playoff grid in a bit once we get through the results. But amongst the results, came so close to having all three Trackhouse cars in the playoffs. Daniel Suarez came home in second. Uh, and I mean, Justin Haley, I mean, if he wants to stay at Spire, he needed to run like he had on Saturday, and he got third. Cole Custer, that's the first ever top five for Haas factory team. Like, look at all these underdog finishes.
Really? Wow.
Like,
And
like
yeah,
first,
this is sorry to interrupt, but like we noticed Justin Haley ran really well in this race last year too for Rick Ware in the 51 car.
yeah, Haley is gonna have a win on one of these super speedways again if he keeps it up. And then Eric Jones could have had a shot to win, but unfortunately, I think he got shoved by, I think, was it Larson?
Yeah, it was Larson. It was Larson. He got shoved out in the outside lane.
Yeah, that was a shame. But yeah,
Larson was kind of like out of control Saturday night.
Yeah, and Eric Jones said I got to have a talk with him. Like I don't know if there ever was a talk, but I think it's something that we could. I'm not sure if it could happen, but maybe we see some sort of tapping at Darlington. But I don't know. I feel like this is something they're going to move on from. And unfortunately, no RFK cars in the playoffs. Chris Buescher came up short, finished at seventh. Uh, and then you had the highest finishing Gibbs car, and Ty Gibbs, Josh Berry, and Chase Elliott rounding out the top 10. So we had nine completely different teams in the top nine. Nine completely different
Yeah.
teams.
Wow,
That's
that's a
pretty big.
great stat.
Yeah. Imagine if it could have been
Back
in
to
the
back
top
top
10.
tens for Barry.
Todd Gilliland came really close to beating out Chase Elliott for a top 10. That would have been 10 completely different teams in the top 10, which has that ever happened? I don't think so. Not in a long
Maybe like
time.
early next gen era, I'm thinking, but like
I don't know.
I don't know.
Like I don't know if that's even happened in even the Gen 6 or Gen 5, but that could have been very interesting. And speaking of some of the top finishers, I mean Suarez. I mean if he's trying to get a ride, I mean he's had a really great streak. This is his third straight top 10 finish after not having a top 10 since spring. And
Yeah, he's getting back on.
there's a lot of rumors as well that he could be taking over the 7 car next year. Uh, like we've heard those rumors for actually quite a while. Jordan Bianchi mentioned Suarez could be a candidate for the 7 car, and I know Justin Haley. I mean, I know we were just praising him, but I mean, it's one race. I mean, if he can pick it up throughout the playoffs, maybe he'll be able to stay there. But it's looking like Daniel Suarez. I mean, could easily be moving into that 7 car. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, like, I mean, there's only so much you can expect really out of Spire equipment, so I'll give that to Justin Haley, but at the same time, like, if he's proven that he can run up front like he did Saturday night, it kind of makes you wonder at some points why he wasn't doing that more often.
Yeah. But I think it's just something. And Suarez had also mentioned that he's just trying to finish the year out the strongest he can because he wants to impress a team like Spire. Because as I mentioned, if Haley's gone, I mean, which that's still like there's even still the rumor he could be out before the end of the year, and someone like Jesse Love would finish out the year, or Zilisch. But I think, but right now, like I think with how he ran, he could easily still finish out the year. Haley, that is, and then the attention turns to 2026, depending on how he does throughout the rest of the playoffs. But we'll see about that. And then, I mean, going through some of the other results, I mean, tough break for Ryan Preece. He came so close to the win, got split down the middle. And, I mean, he didn't, thankfully for him, he didn't go to space this week.
Yeah. I mean, Busher was also running up front there, and then when Joey Logano when he spun across the nose of Busher, that really screwed him up. I think Busher could have won the race if not for that. So that was
Yeah,
really a bummer to see as well.
we'll get to that in a little bit. But going back through some of these other results, I mean, there were some guys that I mean, Cody Ware, I mean, I got to talk about him for sure. I mean, I know there was that fortune cookie, or there was that letter, that fortune cookie letter, I think, that his brother Carson had,
Yeah.
that said luck is like on your side, or what was it was something like that. There was like something from a fortune cookie, I think it was, that said something about him winning this week. But it could have happened. I mean, he was leading a bunch of stage two, which that was the most Cody Ware has led in his entire career in the Cup Series. It's very impressive, I will say. But
I mean, like, yeah, twice as a pattern. Like the Rick Ware 51 ran well at the Daytona Summer Race last year too with Haley. He led a
yeah,
bunch of laps.
yeah, he did. So I was thinking, was history about to repeat itself? But I don't know. I mean, it would have been interesting had he. I mean, there were people that were saying he's going to do it, and unfortunately, he did. For those who were saying so, he didn't. But I mean, it could have been It would have broken. It would have broken the internet because 36 in points to beat in the playoffs would have broken the internet. That did not happen. We got close with 34th because Cole Custer was leading on the last lap, but that didn't happen either. But then going through some of the other finishers, there were a few cars that still finished despite heavy damage. Tyler Reddick still finished 21st despite nose damage from that wreck with I think it was Todd Gilliland he spun with.
Yeah, it was Todd Gilliland. He came down and then kind of they both spun, or I
Yeah,
think he got shoved.
it was a night of nightmares as well for Denny Hamlin because issue after issue kept coming up after getting caught in an early big one, and Hamlin, and then he ended up causing a caution when a tire went down, got in the wall, and he was then saying he couldn't steer it, but yet he kept going. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I know it would have cost him a lot of track position and points, and it wouldn't have been a good points day, but uh, it really got concerning because he was dropping a lot of debris on the track, which NASCAR, I imagine, did not like. And then, I mean, I feel like in a situation like that, Hamlin should have come to a stop and then tried to get a push back because the DVP clock doesn't exist in the Cup Series anymore. It could easily have gotten a push back and gotten back in the race that way, but just because it got really dangerous there, because he was staying on the track and
Yeah.
potentially dropping debris, like, and then we'll go through the last few guys here. AJ Allmendinger, he was running great. He still got fastest lap of the race, but
Yeah.
he had a mechanical issue, I think, and we had probably, and he had a very fiery rant on the radio, I remember, where he's like, everything sucks. We ran so good only for it to go away, or something like that. It was something like that. And then we'll talk about Logano here in a second. Logano was all over the place, trying to keep the lead and going, and he was the most aggressive for sure in the whole field, I think, in terms of Joey Logano.
Yeah.
And you could hear when he spun out, NBC like boosted the crowd noise, which just they
Yeah.
do that a lot. And
Usually they only do that when like Elliot takes the lead.
yeah,
But like
and
that was interesting.
yeah, but when he spun, I when he spun, they had to throw it because then he went into the turf and spun again. But
Yeah.
it was mentioned on a door bumper clear yesterday. But the officials apparently were not happy with Logano for what he was saying because some people were trying to say he did that on purpose, and I don't think it was in purpose for him to spin out again in the turf there. But
Yeah.
I imagine but considering the officials were like criticizing him on the radio, I don't know if we could hear it, but it was mentioned on DBC that the officials were not happy with Logano, so I don't think any penalties are going to get announced for that. Most likely not. We would have known by now, but just something
Yeah.
that I wanted, just a little nugget I wanted to mention that the officials weren't happy with him for doing that. And then we had some other notables in the field, like, and I feel bad because Joey Gase in the 44, he had a bunch of mechanical issues. I had to pit a few times. I think Casey Mears, and that 66 was keeping up in the draft. Like, I was so happy to see Casey Mears back again running at Daytona. The only driver to have raced during the Winston Cup era was as well
That's a
that
cool
was in
stat.
this race. Yeah, I mean he ran this race back in 2003, last year Winston Cup, and Mears unfortunately like kept having tire issues,
Yeah, he had
time and time
two.
again. So I feel really bad because and the 66 had a Roush Yates lease, so it was keeping up like all throughout the race, and then unfortunately it didn't work out because this could have been a really good day for MBM.
Yeah, I mean, he kept making recoveries, and I'm surprised that he finished as high as he did, considering that he had an issue early on in the race and also one like later in the race. And I thought that would have dropped him down further, but I mean, credit to him for getting it into the top 30. I mean, that doesn't sound like a lot, but it's an MBM car, and he was keeping up with the draft. So I think that is actually a pretty impressive drive by Mears.
Yeah, I think so as well, but I'm just pointing out it could have been better. It could have been a lot better had the mechanical issue or tire issues
Yeah,
didn't come
100%.
up. And then and then felt like and then Austin Hill and Zane Smith, they both I remember got caught lapped a bunch of times.
Oh yeah.
mostly because they had damage from the earlier big one, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And I feel awful for BJ McLeod because he was having a great run. He could have had the run of his life had his tire not gone down.
Yeah.
I was a little surprised they didn't throw the yellow there, which I think may have been which I know he did get down, but it's possible he could have left debris on the track, so I don't know if that was necessarily so I don't know exactly what the deal was. I mean, I know NASCAR doesn't want to throw yellows for single car spins. We'll talk about that again when we talk about Xfinity, but yeah, like it's I'm still pretty upset for BJ because he had to call it a day after that last incident he had, which I mean, I hope it goes better for him at Talladega because he was having such a great run. And then we have, I think he still finished the race. Kyle Busch, like I know it wasn't his fault, but I feel like something bad happens to him every week now. And now Cheddar's, and speaking of, I don't know if you saw Cheddar's posted. Cheddar's is now having a deal where are they just acknowledging Kyle Busch is never going to win a race again?
Yeah, it seems like it because they changed the deal from tenders if he wins to chips and queso if he finishes top 8.
Yeah, are they just
And
acknowledging?
yeah,
I shouldn't be laughing at that because it's I hate seeing Kyle Busch
it's
run.
sad.
I mean I hate seeing Kyle Busch run this bad every week, but unfortunately it's at a point where I have to mention it every week because 5 years ago we'd be talking about how good Kyle Busch runs every week, and look where we are now. I mean
I mean, yeah, he's having a these last 2 years have been absolutely horrible for him. Like,
which I mean, I know he acknowledged he was washed at a Darlington last year, but it's gotten even worse now. Like, and are they just acknowledging he's never gonna win again if the best they can offer is top 8? Like, if top 8 chips like in cheese, like is that the best they can
I don't
offer?
think he'll ever win again. I don't think
No,
he'll ever win again. I
and
I
that's
think Gateway
sad.
was his last win.
Like I feel like
It is.
this, like I feel like that this is just the Jimmy Johnson era for him. And I know Kyle said he wants to run 5 more years in Cup, but if he keeps performing like this, I don't know if he'll be able to run 5 more years. I don't know if Richard Childress is going to have enough of it.
I don't
Yeah,
think he's gonna stay with Richard Childress for all 5 of those years. I don't think he can take it.
no, he can't. I mean, but it could also be him, like because I mean Austin Dillon just won a race. I don't
I mean,
know.
we all know Austin Dillon's favored there though. So, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, I know that. But and then Carson Hocevar blew an engine, which I know a lot of people have really taken a look at Spire's issues and mechanical issues that have come with the 77. It always seems like whenever Carson Hocevar is having a good run, it just blows in his face. Like it's happened so much. Like his pit crews messed up last week at Richmond. Same thing happened at Bristol in the spring, where he could have won that race, theoretically, but his pit crew messed up. Like there's so much that's been going wrong. Excuse me. There's so much
And the
that's been
mechanical
going.
issue in the 600.
Yeah, like there's so much that's been going wrong for Carson when he's got a shot to win. It's just frustrating for him. And then, and I mean, I mentioned how Alex Bowman made it. I mean, he was there cheering. He was cheering Ryan Blaney. He's gonna have to give him those 7 million beers now. And then we'll talk about Bubba Wallace here because uh, let's just say
Man.
blame Freddie. I mean, if you saw all the people in reaction theater going after Freddie, like that was funny.
I didn't.
But but yeah, on reaction theater, like there was someone pretending to be Dr. Phil saying that Freddie had an issue with spotting.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it was just blatant. Bubba just came down and there was no room there. Like, I know a lot of people blamed that one on Larson, and I really like Bubba, but I think that one was on him.
it was on him, and I mean, I think it, and I mean, I know Denny Hamlin also his home team owner admitted it was on him. So like,
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems like the main consensus though is blame Freddie Kraft, and he
Bad
was
hit for
getting
Cindric in that one, by the way.
yeah, and a lot of people, I mean Baldwin was criticizing Freddie. I mean Carson, like they were all going after Freddie on DBC. Like it was pretty funny. So well, I guess now would be a good time to get into the Xfinity race. So we had a tag team for the win, and
Cars 3 in real life.
Racing Reference even acknowledged it. Yeah, and this is actually the first time that this has happened since 2007, where a relief driver
Denny
gets the
Hamlin and Eric
win but
Almirola.
doesn't get credited. Like so, the win goes to Connor Zilisch, but it was all Parker Kligerman doing most of the work. After the first caution, Zilisch was still recovering from that injury, his collarbone. Uh, he got out after the first caution, which was pretty early on for rain, and then right after that, Parker Kligerman got in and ended up fighting his way through the field, like after each caution, and Kligerman takes home the checkered flag. And I mean, while he's not going to be credited with it, he will still get to keep the checkered flag.
That he broke on the front
Yeah, that he
stretch.
broke. Yeah, that he broke it. He broke it in the infield. But again,
I
great. I
also want to
mean,
say about that first caution, or rather a lack thereof, like you said it was thrown for rain, but just a couple laps earlier we had that Harrison Burton spin and then he started dropping debris on the track and NASCAR did not throw the caution.
I don't know if they were I don't know what was going on. I mean, I know, as I said, I know NASCAR doesn't want to throw a random. I know. I think they were also
Yeah.
trying to beat out potential rain, but I think that
Hmm.
if there's debris potentially even on the racing surface, you got to throw it. So I feel like NASCAR did
Yeah.
mess it up a little bit there. I mean, I know they did throw it anyway because of rain, but I think though that they probably should have thrown it when the debris came on the track because I know people always complain about phantom debris cautions, but if you go back to
You could
2018
see it.
if you go back to 2018 Michigan when Ty Dillon hit a piece of debris and took a really hard hit,
Oh yeah.
that's why debris cautions happen for those who wonder why debris cautions happen. And this I know people complain about debris cautions all the time, but this was this should have been a real debris caution. And then ended up actually
Should have
being a
been.
one
You
two
could see
three
it.
ended up being a 1-2-3 as well for JRM. Sammy Smith, Justin Allgaier, and then a lot of surprise finishes despite the big wreck at the end. Like Dean Tom. By the way, look at that wreck avoidance by Dean Thompson there. That was incredible.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I know I praise his season almost every episode on the show, but Dean Thompson's had a hell of a year for Sam Hunt.
He has. He has. Like I don't think I've ever seen the car this consistent. Like it didn't run that way with Gralla. And I can't think of like I mean Jeffrey Earnhardt was not running that well in the 26 car.
And by the way, Garrett Smithley finished in eighth. I just want to shout that out.
I thought he was ninth. Something like that.
Now there was
Whatever.
they changed because the caution flew before they got to the checkered flag, which
Oh,
was
okay. Yeah.
probably the right call. Which was probably the right call because it was a big wreck.
It wasn't going to change the outcome of the winner, so yeah.
Yeah, because no one was side by
Yeah.
side with each other coming to the checker. But
Yeah.
it was the right call no matter what because I mean, as Denny Hamlin said, nobody wants to race back to the checkers after a big wreck.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I
Garrett
also want to
Smith,
say, well, yeah, SS Greenlight double top 15. That's amazing.
yeah, Patrick Emmerling finished 13th. Hell of a run for him. Again, like Patrick is a great plate racer, so I'm really happy for him. But Garrett Smithley needed this run because that 14 is pretty low in owner points amongst
Yeah.
all 35-ish full-time teams. So this is one he really needed. And big shout out as well to Bobby Daughter for what he's done in the sport. And Garrett just had such a great, and that paint scheme was beautiful on that
Oh, it
14
was
car.
absolutely.
That paint scheme was absolutely beautiful. Like, and I mean that's the same scheme that Smithley ran in Cup at Atlanta a few years ago. So like it was beautiful, and I know Brennan Poole has gotten a lot of top 10s or top 20s this year, but he did that with no engine lease. He
Yeah,
got ninth with no engine lease, so I just want to shout that out. So that's hell of impressive. Then Ryan Ellis,
someone who I want to
11th.
talk about.
Yeah.
Um, someone who I want to talk about. Finished 26th, so it doesn't look like much, but if you saw those closing laps, Leland Honeyman almost
Oh
played
my
spoiler
God.
to that whole race.
Yeah, we'll talk about why that didn't happen in a little bit. I
Yeah.
imagine you know what I'm gonna mention. And by the way, we also had but yeah, I mentioned Ryan Ellis almost got another top 10. Sawalich, I mean, finished in 12th. I mean, as I said, he's been really turning things around this year as of late. I mean, could that sophomore year come in swinging for him? I'm hoping. And then you had
Is he
Perkins at
confirmed for
four.
next year?
I I would imagine so. I mean, because he's got a lot of just 'cause I would think so. But we also had a Gase top 15, Mason Maggio.
Yeah.
Hell of a run. We'll talk about him again in a little bit because there's something really cool he's got going on in the Truck Series. And then going through some of the other finishers, I mean, Harrison Burton, I mean, and I didn't think he was going to stay in the car after that first wreck because the his
Crush
helmet,
panel.
the crush panel broke part of his helmet, I think. Like it broke the
Really?
glass. Like, did you see what happened with his eye?
I saw like the stuff in the car. I didn't see the helmet break. Wow.
Well, it wasn't the helmet. It was like the windshield of the helmet.
Oh,
Like I think it cracked or something from that, which his eye, something got into his eye, which that was really scary. But the red flag allowed them to help take care of it. But that was a really scary moment. I'm just glad that Harrison's okay now because that could easily have turned even worse. And then Joey Gase, I mean, he came really close to a double. We almost had a double Gase top 20. And then Natalie Decker, uh, we had more mothers in this race than Sheldon Creed has won a race in. Yeah, there were more mothers in this race than the amount of wins Sheldon Creed has had in the Xfinity series.
man.
Yeah, Decker could have had a shot at a top 10 or top 15, but she had to dive to pit road because there was an issue she had. But she still finished 22nd on the day. And then Eric
Yep.
Almirola, and I mean, there were a lot of guys taking on that big. We'll talk about this in a second. Almirola gets fastest lap, but I think we all know why that all happened at the end there, and it was because of the man who finished in 25th. And he's been making a lot of enemies out there, Austin Hill.
This guy, man.
The Richard Childress Austin Hill, because again, I saw people on Twitter attacking the other Austin Hill again today, and they had to be corrected. So,
Yeah.
I mean, Austin Hill, I mean, he's not making friends out there, not even with his teammate. I mean, Jesse Love was on the radio, was complaining about how bummed he was when Allgaier beat him out.
I mean, like, here's that last lap wreck, in my opinion, I think that falls entirely on Austin Hill being unable to hold his line because he's
It
not used to
does.
actually being contended. Like he wasn't at the front. They didn't just hand it to him. So
No.
now when he's stuck four wide, like yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a shame. But and I mean, Hill was also getting into. I mean, Hill was also complaining on the radio about how no one wanted to work with him. Well, Austin, you kept acting like. I mean, Austin. I mean, I'm gonna have to be honest with you, but you kept acting all race like you were all alone, and like that's the problem. I mean, you weren't helping any of the other Chevys. I mean, like that's why no one's gonna want to work with you on these super speedways anymore. Like
I think it
I
was at
got
the end of stage two, he was constantly pulling out a line with Jesse, like from Jesse Love trying to get by him, and I was like, why are they not working together? It
Yeah,
makes no
I didn't get
sense.
it. And again, Leland Honeyman, I mean, and Leland Honeyman got shoved almost into the wall by Austin Hill on that last
Yep.
restart. So, and I just hope that 70 car isn't killed because I think I saw something that was the same car Brandon Brown wanted.
Yeah. Yeah. That is the Brandon Brown lone Xfinity wing car from 2021.
So, I hope that car's not killed. I mean, I got a message that it's to be determined right now, but but the car doesn't really look that good right now. I just hope that it's not killed.
That might be
Uh,
one of my favorite paint schemes that's run this year. Just
oh
period.
yeah,
Like
oh
I know it's
100%.
simple. It was great.
Yeah. There was also some other controversy with the 70 team involving their crew chief, but I'd rather not talk about that.
I did not hear about that.
Yeah. But going through some of the other results, Cesar Baccarella, I loved that 5 paint scheme, but what was he? What
Yeah.
happened there on that wreck towards the end?
He came flying in,
Yeah,
dude. He
like
was
what
not
the hell
slowing
was
down.
that? And Caesar's like the oldest guy in the field, and like he's
It's
the
not a
oldest
good
guy in the
look.
field, and like I mean, I think he's 51 now. I want to say, but like
It's
I
not
mean,
that old, I feel like.
everyone else was like slow. Everyone else was slowing down, and he thank God he didn't hit anybody, but that could have been so much worse. And like,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what he was doing. I also don't know why. Like, maybe this is just me. I don't know why Alpha Prime chose to run a fourth car. I think they need to focus on their 3 cars, really.
it's gonna stretch them too thin. They're stretching themselves too
Yeah.
thin. Like, I know Tommy Joe always complains about costs and other things, but like you're running 4 cars. Like that's your
Yeah,
biggest
like you didn't
issue.
need to buy that car. You didn't
That's your
you didn't need
biggest
to run
issue.
that.
That's the biggest issue. That's their biggest issue right now. You're running 4 cars when when your resources are really only for 2 teams. Like I don't think they should even be running 3. In all
It should
honesty,
just be Pool and
Parker
the
Retzlaff,
yeah.
Parker Retzlaff, and then Raja Karuth. I mean, he got a. I mean, I felt bad for Raja because he was having such a great run as well.
Man.
And then some of these other guys I know that got taken out after great runs, like Ryan Sieg, had a shot to win, and his shot got taken. Like such an
Once
unfortunate
again.
moment. And some other guys like Eckes, who needed a good point stay, didn't get it. Daniel Dye also needed a good point stay. Like we may have 0 Kaulig cars in the playoffs in Xfinity.
I'm shocked by how Ekes' season is going. I thought it would go much better than this.
Yeah, and Matt DiBenedetto. I mean, there was a lot of irony with DiBenedetto because the sponsor on his car was Buddy, and he was not making buddies out there. Like he was the one who spun.
No.
He was the one who spun Harrison Burton out. Wasn't he
Yeah.
also the one who spun Raja out?
I believe so, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then didn't he cause another wreck as well? I could be wrong, but
Was I'm not sure. I forgot the cause of the semi big one with a couple laps to go. I'm gonna take a look at that real quick. But yeah, I mean he was kind of on a tear. Like and not in a good way. Like he was just getting into everybody out there.
yeah. Which, as I said, that's why it's all very ironic. But I'll also discuss a little bit about the ARCA race before we get into some of the other stuff, before we start talking about Darlington and the other nitty gritty of the show. But we also had the ARCA race at, oh yeah, and we could get into IndyCar a little bit after that. But yeah, ARCA was at Madison, and why are we
I
scheduling
watched
ARCA
it a little.
race? Why are we scheduling ARCA races during Xfinity races? Like that's gonna throw so many I imagine that's a Fox Sports thing, but like, why are we
Like
scheduling
why
that?
not Sunday?
Like, why are we scheduling ARCA races during Xfinity? I really don't understand. And they're scheduling and the Southern 500 is going up against ARCA's going up against the Southern 500 for like, I think this is the 5th year in a
No
row.
one's watching ARCA over the Southern
They're
500. No
yeah,
one's doing that.
like unless there's a rain delay, but unless there's a rain, ARCA did get rained out to Monday one year at DuQuoin, but I know that's a state that's a DuQuoin State Fair decision, but whoever's run the
Yeah.
DuQuoin State Fair does not understand anything clearly in terms of implications because it's the Southern 500. It's one of like the main crown jewels of the Cup Series. So like, why are you going to try to even consider competing with that? And why would we consider competing with an Xfinity race? Like I don't get it. Like Like Arca,
It
like
makes no sense.
I hate doing this, but like you guys got to stop trying to compete with Xfinity or like whoever's scheduling these races. I don't know if it's track, but like there's got to be much more that goes into planning these races because
Xfinity is also having like a really good rating season with their first year on the CW, so I don't know why you would try to go up against that. Like,
yeah,
it's not gonna work.
Cup Series also their ratings did go down again, but it was
Yeah.
still it was still the and I'll talk and but it was still the highest rated cup or highest watch cup race in a few months, which I just have an issue with how a lot of these cup races are on cable compared to the prior deal. Like there needs to be much more races held on NBC and on main Fox because I think that's one of the
Yes.
things that has hurt ratings the most this year is that races are getting put on cable, which people are, I mean I still use cable obviously, but a lot of other people do not are getting rid of their cable boxes. So like I
I
feel
will
like that
say,
they gotta like both of these networks gotta realize that more people are gonna be inclined to watch on main Fox or main NBC.
mhm.
So like I just hope that eventually they change it up.
Like I'll also say, for Peacock, there was a lot of issues Saturday night because they were streaming the
Yeah.
Cup race. And there were a lot of issues. First of all, when there was side by side on TV, it was a full screen ad break. Even if it wasn't showing ads, it would say commercial break instead of showing the side by side, which I just thought was absolutely ridiculous.
And by the way, they gotta put all their cup slate on Peacock. They gotta put their whole slate on Peacock, not just the special races. I know they did the Daytona last year and the Chicago Street Race and probably one or two others on Peacock, but they got to put their whole deal on Peacock. I mean, I think
I think
another
it's
one of
just
the
the
issues.
NBC races.
Yeah, I think there was another issue with ratings, which was over. I think another issue with ratings was apparently some games, some like preseason football games, I think related to college football, were put on main NBC in like some regions in Florida. I know we're
I had
making
that issue last year with
yeah.
Ravens football.
So it might be the same thing this year because apparently they put races in Florida on NBC, and I mean it's Florida. I mean that's where a lot of people are going to want to tune in if there's a race in Daytona because a lot of people are going to say, oh, there's a race over here. Why don't we watch it on TV? See what's going to happen. So like I just I am very happy though that Daytona did have its largest uh, summer race crowd in like 7 years. They mentioned it. It was their largest crowd for a
Wow.
summer race in 7 years. Track president mentioned it in the drivers' meeting. So
That's awesome.
I am that is happy. And I know we're making excuses. I know Denny Hamlin was like, we got to stop making excuses and actually try to figure out why people are not watching anymore. But I mean, there are legit potential excuses. I mean, Denny Hamlin's not going to be the one to know why people aren't watching, but I mean, he said it that we do have to figure out why people are not watching, and I think the one of the things that is hurting ratings this year, especially, I mean, a lot of people are obviously still watching. It's over cable. No one, people aren't using cable anymore. And I know this was a main NBC race, hence why they had over 3 million viewers. But listen, like cable's not going to be the same is not going to be as big as it used to be. Like I know I just rambled about that, but cable is never going to be the same thing it used to be. And if people keep getting rid of their cable boxes, like the ratings are going to continue to drop for non NBC or non main Fox races. All right. So moving on to Arca now. Ended up actually being Max Reeves winning. This is his second win in the main series. Uh, so I will say though, LeVar Scott though did come somewhat close to finally getting that first win, and then going through
He was
some of
having
the
a good run early on until he spun too.
yeah,
I
there
remember
was
that.
I think Butterbean. We'll talk a little bit more about Butterbean later when we talk about the hologram stuff. But Butterbean, he got third. I mean, Robusto finished fourth. Julian DaCosta in his debut finished fifth. I really like that paint scheme for Mason Mitchell, who got sixth. Kaylee Bryson made her main debut in eighth. Jason Kitzbühel was seventh. Like Tony Costito was ninth. Bit upset with Tristan McGee because he led practice and he probably was the biggest challenger that Reeves could have had, and he spun out really early on, and it killed his tires, and that was a shame there. There were some other moments, like Lawless Allen got wrecked early on, but he kept going, and the car looked like a modified.
Yeah, there was a wreck in turn one. Like I think it was after the Lawless Allen wreck. And like there were several cars that just came flying in, like it was a full Arca brakes moment, like flying through the grass trying to avoid it. I
Yeah,
know Brad Smith was one of those that was involved after the initial incident. I
yeah,
forgot
but
who the other person was.
Michael Maples, I think. No,
Michael
Maples.
Maples, yes, that's it.
No, he was originally spun out, and then
Oh no, wait, yeah.
and it was the '67 of Shane Beck and Shane
Oh yeah, Shane
Backus.
Backus.
Shane,
Yeah.
what are you doing, man? Like you nearly wrecked the 18 very early on. Like you were all over the place. Like you're not gonna get approved for these bigger tracks if you keep getting all over the place, man. Like, come on. Like I hate saying that, but you gotta be clean out there. And then I know
I want to talk about the 86. I want
oh
to talk
yeah,
about
because
the
there was
86.
a big twist. This will probably be the last thing related to ARCA before we preview all the races this coming weekend.
Jeff McConey,
Yeah,
iRacing fame.
yeah. I mean, I honestly don't really know how to side with that because, like, I get what Landon Huffman was trying to say, but I feel like once Alex Clubb started to kind of talk about what he's doing, like, it's just kind of hard to really side. I did think it was kind of stupid though to suggest that has Landon Huffman's wife ever raced in anything?
I have no idea.
Yeah, because like he was trying to claim that his wife would run better than Jeff in the same car, which I don't know what he was trying to say there. And
I mean, I think I
and
don't
like
know. Like I'm on the side of I'm kind of on both sides because like money isn't unlimited, obviously, and for
no,
these small budget teams, like it's expensive to run ARCA. But at the same time, when you are so slow that it is genuinely like a safety hazard to have you on track, I think a conversation needs to be had. Why are you fielding two cars every week?
well, I know McConey did mention that there were legit mechanical issues with the car, like which
But he shouldn't be on track then, in my opinion.
yeah yeah which I think he did pull off after a bit, but there I think he did pull off, but like I just think that if you're having trouble, like you got to get it taken care of ASAP in a situation like that. But I mean, I feel like I know he was trying to say that Jeff would be better running in Cars Tour, but like I feel like that. But the thing is, Cars Tour is not a nationwide thing. Like ARCA still is able to be like, and I mean, I get the points that both sides made. It's just that I feel like that this could have been settled much better. In all honesty,
I don't
and
think
like
Alex Clubb should be running multiple cars every week. I just don't think that's a good idea.
I get what you're saying, but
Because if you
I
don't
get what
have the
you're saying.
budget to make two cars run at race speed, then you should focus on getting one car to race speed, in my opinion.
The O3 wasn't really doing that terrible. I mean, I know he finished many laps down, but he was getting out of the way of the leaders. I mean, same with the 31. Like she
Main
was
problem was
getting
the
out of the way.
86.
Yeah, the 86 was the main issue. And then I guess we can delve into the IndyCar side of things. We had someone that I don't think people saw this coming. Christian Rasmussen takes the
No.
victory. No one saw that coming, and
Nobody.
I'm just so
Ted
happy for
Carpenter win.
yeah, I'm just so happy for that team. Like Rasmussen getting it done was such a surprise, and I mean there were a lot of and I mean I didn't get to catch a lot of the race, but that battle between him and Pillow at the end was incredible to watch. And Rasmussen, I was getting really worried that he was gonna hit one of the lappers or get into the wall, but like I mean, I felt by that point, once he got the lead, he was going to be able to keep it without doing anything wrong, and that's what happened. I mean, there were some other notable, like, moments. Like, I know Nolan Siegel wrecked out pretty early. I think actually on the first lap. Um, I know Will Power wrecked out. Like, think Calamillo had a mechanical issue. Like, there's a lot going on the IndyCar side of in that race. Did see something that Prema though is also looking for additional funding to keep going for next year. So
Makes
I'm
sense.
curious. I'm curious if that's going to shake anything up for 2026 or not.
Want to talk about Alex Pelota F1 potentially?
That's been debunked today.
Oh, I missed
That
that.
yeah yeah Chip Ganassi was like, that's news to me. Basic.
Oh, okay.
That's what Chip Ganassi was like today. He's staying with us. He does have like a clause in his contract that allows him to run in F1 if something were to happen, I think. But I don't think Red Polo would have been stupid to do that, because think about it. The second Red Bull car in F1 is a shafted car to help Verstappen. It's shafted. Like,
Yeah,
that's why
it's not good.
so, like, I don't think Pillow would have been willing to run a 10th every week, where he can just win almost every week in IndyCar, and he's locked up championship like two races early. So,
It's got
like,
to be more fun.
yeah. So I think now would be a good time to move into Darlington, which we have 38
In
cars
Portland.
entered for Cup. Yep, in Portland. We have 38 cars entered. Uh, there are some things with the entry list, though, of note. Derek Kraus is in the 44
Yeah.
for NY Racing Team. Uh, Curious to see how that goes. This is his first race with them since the Coca-Cola 600. And the 66, I know the NASCAR app lists it as Josh Balicki, but it will be driven by Maryland's very own Timmy Hill. Nice. Really glad
Pride
to
of
see
Port
him back.
Tobacco.
Really glad to see Timmy Hill back. Uh, in that 66 car. They are looking for more sponsorship. So if any sponsors want to do that, you may as well ask for their prices, I guess. But I think and then there's also some interesting sponsors. Like the 47, I've been trying to figure out what that sponsor is. I've heard
I
from
think
some
it's
people
I don't know.
it's like some sort of penguin toy. Some people have said it's an NFT. Like, I don't know what the
It
heck.
looks like an NFT.
I don't know. And because we're still on the
If I
topic,
can't tell what your sponsor is, like that's a problem, I think.
yeah, but they are a real brand. They're not. They. It seems like this is a real brand. I mean, I don't think that they would have taken a fake
Sure.
check. I mean, knowing Hayek. I mean, Hayek, I don't think is going to take a fake spot. I mean, Hayek has had a very interesting lineup, though, admittedly, in terms of sponsors this year. Like, they've had Hulk Hogan's Real American Beer. They had a company
Oh
owned
yeah.
by Jake Paul at Homestead, which, oh boy, they've
Yikes.
they've had Fun Pops or whatever that's called. I mean,
Yeah, the popsicles.
yeah, they've had Rate, which actually used to be Quicken Loans. People remember that being with Ryan Newman.
Oh yeah.
That same company used to be with Ryan Newman, and they were known as Quicken Loans. And then when they changed to Guaranteed Rate, they actually went back to Ryan Newman from Casey Kane.
I
So
remember that.
just wanted to mention that. I mean, they've had some sort of RAM storage company, I think it's called, moving storage. They've had Sunny D, like potato rolls. They've had Hungry Jay. Like, they've had so many different sponsors. I mean, at least they're bringing in new sponsors and all, but it's a very interesting line. I'm gonna skip Xfinity and come back to it because we're still talking about Darlington and
Oh, just
Darlington
one more
truck.
thing for Stenhouse.
Yeah,
Sorry. Just one more thing for Stenhouse. I just want to say the scheme he ran at Daytona, the Jack Links Duos car, that might be worst scheme of the year contender.
you think?
I do. I think it does not look good in the slightest.
Yeah, I didn't really like it either. But I mean, at least it was a good pay. It was at least a good sponsor deal for them, because I mean, it's Jack
Yeah.
Links. Jack Links is a big company, so it was a good deal for them. So on the truck side of things, I want to transition to that. There are 32, and we'll
Yeah.
get back. We'll get back to Cup. We'll kind of maybe close out with playoff predictions when we get to that point. The truck side of things, uh, there are 32 trucks entered. Um, the one truck is TBA, but it was supposed to be Lawless Allen, but he is running the ARCA race the next day at DuQuoin. There's a
Yeah.
rumor that Trevor Bayne is going to be in that one truck. I don't know if that's credible or not, but there's a rumor
Really?
going around that Trevor Bayne is going to be in that one truck instead. Nathan Bird also returns to the 02 truck for Young. This is his first race in quite a while, I think. The 2 truck, which is TBA right now.
Yeah.
I don't know who that's
Corey
going to
Day's
be.
back.
Who? Yeah, Corey Day's in the 7 truck. Stephen Parsons, the 20 truck is back. Nice to see Stephen back. He's a great guy. Mason Maggio, and I mentioned we would talk about Maggio again. I love that throwback scheme he's got on the 22 truck.
Let me see. I don't think I saw that,
It's
actually.
a throwback to the Aaron's Michael Waltrip 2004 car that he ran in Xfinity. I
Ooh.
love that scheme so much.
Wow.
And then
This is nice.
going down the list, a little surprised to not see the 41 truck from Nice because I thought that was supposed to be finishing out the year.
I don't know what's going on with Nice anymore, man.
Yeah. But still scrolling down the list, Timmy Hill, he's back
Timmy
again in
Hill's
the
back.
truck. He's in the 56 truck as well. I am very surprised by this. We have no 66 truck in the field. And that's been a
Isn't
full-time
it the
team.
69 now?
No, 66
Or
is
oh no, wait,
been
Thorsport.
So I'm pretty
Yeah.
surprised. I'm very surprised by that.
Oh,
A little
yeah.
surprised that the 63 of Akinori Ogata is not entered because his social medias have been mentioning that they're coming back, but could be a future race, maybe Talladega. We see Akinori run, but I'm a little surprised.
Mike Harmon
that,
Racing.
Yep, Caleb Costner again. Nice looking paint. Reminds me of those Gander Mountain schemes on that 74
Yeah.
truck of Caleb Costner. And then LaJoy in the 77. I mean, so there's 32 trucks. A little surprised to not see Justin Carroll back. I don't know what's happened with the 90 truck.
Mm.
But and Norm Benning, I'm a little surprised he's not entered because apparently he really wanted to run
Oh,
this
yeah.
race. And then on the Xfinity side, we'll go back to Xfinity because we will move to Portland now. So this is actually the first short field for the Xfinity series since Atlanta last fall. There are 37 cars entered. Amongst the notable entrants, Alex LeBay in the 07, Will Brown in the 11. He could be a potential contender for Connor Zilisch. Jack
Perkins in the 19.
Jack Perkins in the 19. The 24.
24 is TBA.
That's going to be driven by Alande.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Alande will be in that car. Joey Hand is in the 28, which from
The
what
big dog.
from what I'm hearing, that's going to be from what I'm hearing, Ford is helping a lot with that entrant, and Haas Factory.
Just like Almirola, I'm assuming.
Haas Factory team is also helping with that era, from my understanding. But we'll talk a little bit more about Kyle Sieg in a second. 32 is supposed to be driven by Austin Green again. Takuma Koga will be making his Xfinity debut in the 35 for
Nice.
Gase. Gotta love Takuma Koga. Flies all the way from Japan every week to run in ARCA, whether it's ARCA East, like whenever he's running ARCA East full time, he flies all the way in from Japan every week for that.
Wow.
So I just want to shout out Takuma Koga. Takuma's such an awesome dude. Like, we also have the return of I think this is how you say his name,
Vicente Salas.
Vicente
Salas.
He's in the 45 car. First race for him since Rockingham. Kyle Sieg is in the 53 car. I did not expect that. From my understanding, he's doing that just to stay in points. I don't think RSS wanted to bring 3 cars this week because it's a road course. But Kyle Sieg, he's run the 53. There was also a little bit of musical chairs with the Gase cars this week because Takuma Koga was supposed to run the 53 at this week, not the 35. Then Austin Hill was supposed to also compete this week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was supposed to compete this week in the either the 35 or the 53. So I'm a little surprised because he was scheduled for it. I don't know if they changed that race to Sonoma because he was not scheduled to run Sonoma at first. So they may have changed that race around or his schedule around. But I imagine we'll see him back at the Roval. And then Glenn Reen was then also supposed to compete in one of the Gase cars. I got back with him earlier today. He said someone else is going to drive instead. I'm just going to be helping with the team. But a little disappointed to not see Glenn Reen back. Glenn Reen is such an awesome dude. Just want to point that out again. You gotta love Glenn Reen. And
Yeah,
then
I love Glenn Reen.
Thomas and Ziada back in the 70. And by the way, Connor Zilisch will be running the entire race this week. I believe he's fully healed at this point now and ready to go. Well, he's at least in condition, ready to race in the full distance. And then Josh Williams is in the 91. That's a bit of a surprise.
He was in the 45 last week, right?
Yeah.
At Daytona.
Yeah, so Josh Williams will run the 91 for DGM this week. And I'm disappointed. I know I talked about this last week, but teams, I think you're a bunch of jerks for causing Portland to go off the schedule. I know it's not in a good place for you guys. I know you guys would rather run it when Sonoma gets run, but like, we need to be in that Pacific Northwest market. Your teams, you're screwing over the fans who want to see NASCAR come up to the Northwest. Like, guys, like,
I mean, I have a friend who lives in... Yeah.
Stop complaining about the costs. Like, I don't get it at this point. Like, I know it's expensive to go out west, but like, you guys go to Sonoma. That's like the same travel time. Like, what's the issue with Portland? Like, you guys are going to San Diego as well, and none of you are complaining about that. Like, I don't get it. Teams, I really don't understand you. Like, I don't understand you.
Yeah, it's confusing.
Like,
Portland is a major loss for it not being on the schedule. Like, that's a track I look forward to every year on the Xfinity schedule.
Teams. I know I'm probably pissing a lot of you off right now, especially the smaller teams. But like, I hate to do this, but like, we need to be in that Pacific Northwest market. Like, we're screwing people over up there. Like, and I know it doesn't pay well.
Like, we can't have 11 races in North Carolina area. Like, we can't do that. Like,
Yeah,
that's just not going to help anything.
Yeah, I mean, I really appreciate Jeff Gluck for tweeting that. Oh, we need more people. We need more races in North Carolina, not going to new places. Like, thank you, Jeff, again for that. Yeah, I hate that this is going to be the last one. And again, yes, teams, if you want to get a hold of me, go ahead. You can talk to me if you want. But I'm sorry, we should still be running Xfinity or you know what? Do trucks at Portland instead if you guys are going to whine about it.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I don't care.
I don't know about that.
I don't know. But like, this pisses me off a lot. So I just wanted to get that off my chest again.
Is ARCA still running Portland?
They are running too. We'll get into Maine first.
Yeah,
because
I was just asking.
We're gonna talk about. You know what? Actually, we can do ARCA West at Portland because we're still talking about the same track.
Okay.
So ARCA West
Sure.
is also going to Portland again. There are 19 cars entered, which a little sad because that's like a drop of like 5 cars from last year. I think in this race last year. I could be wrong.
Didn't they have 2 Portlands last year?
No, it was just 1. We still have a lot of notable entrants, though.
Maybe that was 2 years ago.
In the 3 car, we have Fernando Navarrete. Navarrete, I think that's how you say his name. He's from Spain. This is a pretty cool deal. And apparently he wants to run some Xfinity races next year. Or O'Reilly races, I should say. He's apparently looking at running O'Reilly races next year. So, hope he has a great run. But he's in the 3 car for Todd Souza. Caleb Schrader in the 6 car for Jerry Pitts. Nice to see him back again. Davey Magris in the 14. William Sawalich in the 18, the Sonoma winner. Christian Eckes in the 19. The 23 for CRG Motorsports. No, it is actually not Sigma. It is actually a separate team, Clark Racing, or it's like something like Clark Racing or CRG Motorsports. It's people who've been tied to Joe Ferre, but it's a separate team out west. That car is currently listed as TBA, although I would not be surprised if that were to be Spencer Gallagher, perhaps, in that car. I would not be surprised.
That would make sense, yeah.
Greg Biffle is in the 24 car.
Yeah!
I am so excited for that. I was hoping Tri-City wasn't going to be his only race, But I'm so happy to see Greg Biffle in the 24 car again. Hope he has.
I just got his ARCA card in, or his hero card for
That's
ARCA. Yeah,
awesome. That's awesome. I'm so happy to see Greg Biffle back. And
it's
I,
awesome, dude.
I really want to see him race against Cletus at Bristol. I don't know if it might be too late for that to
Ooh,
happen. I don't know if it's too late for that to happen, but I would love to see him race against Cletus McFarland at Bristol because the two of them are like best buddies. I would love to see that so
yeah,
much. And then
that
this
would
is
be really cool.
this is an additional race for Alon Day. He was originally not supposed to run this race at ARCA West, but he has added it to his schedule. He is in the 25 again for Venerini. And we have a surprise return. Bobby Hillis is back in the 27 for his own team. That's a nice surprise to see Bobby back. And then Dale Quarterly, the quarterman, Dale Quarterly in the 32. Got a top five. Got a top five at Watkins Glen. Maybe he'll get a top three or even a win this week at Portland. And then Thomas Annunzi. I love that paint scheme on the 70.
Yeah. Oh my God. What a beautiful throwback.
Yeah, throwback to Jeff Gordon, the Nicorette car from like 2008 or 2007.
2007, I think, is specifically, yeah.
Sometime around that era. I love that scheme so much.
I don't know what the occasion is, but like this is awesome.
Annunziata has been known to run some throwbacks to things. Last year at Mid Ohio, he ran the Jeff Gordon throwback to his normal DuPont car. He ran a
Mellow yellow throwback at Daytona.
met Kyle Petty. I think at Watkins Glen he tried doing something to Jimmy Johnson. But I mean Thomas runs some awesome schemes. Like
Yeah.
and like I know there was someone that called it irrelevant because it's ARCA, but like what if he wins? Is it going to still be irrelevant?
It's cool. It's
Like,
cool.
I don't. I just saw someone a day or two ago say that it's irrelevant because it's ARCA, but like it's a cool scheme. You got to at least let
It's just
people
cool.
take in the moment. And, well, if he wins, it's going to become relevant. I'm sorry. And then,
They should make that a diecast whether he wins or not. They made Tristan McKee as a diecast. They need to make this.
yeah, and then Austin Varco in the 72 for this is a special deal for the Strike Mamba team owned by Jonathan Rayom. It's running. This is a special deal for him, for Austin Varco. So I'm really glad to see him doing this. And then I think now it would be better to transition to the main side of things. The entry list for DuQuoin.
Springfield.
Yes.
Or
No, DuQuoin.
DuQuoin. You're right.
The entry list is close to the same as. The entry list is close to the same as.
Madison.
Not Madison, Springfield. Like a lot of similar entrants -1. So unfortunately, we have only 20 cars, which is the lowest entry list for ARCA this year. Amongst the notable entrants include Trevor Ward in the 9, Ed Pompa in the 10. This is actually surprising because Ed usually doesn't run the dirt races.
Ryan Vargas is back. I mean, I know I'm skipping ahead, but he's back.
Yeah, that's fun. Ryan Vargas, he's driving the 6. I hope that's a full race deal, but he's driving the 67 car. Tim Monroe is in the 11 again. Tony Cosentino in the 12. Tim Monroe had a great run at Springfield. He almost had a top 5 until he got caught up in a wreck. Kelly Kovsky, I'd love to see Kelly Kovsky win one of these dirt races. He's in the 16 car. And then Max Reeves getting the 18. Jade Avedissian, that's a fun deal in the 25 car.
That's her debut, right?
That's her debut. That's going to be a fun deal. Chase Howard.
That's awesome.
Chase Howard in the 31 for Rise Motorsports. That seems like a fun deal as well over at the Rise team. But yeah, Chase Howard, he's also he's a prominent dirt guy down south in Mississippi. So I'm curious to see how he does there. Brent Cruz again in the 70.
Brent Cruz.
Yeah, I think
they're running 2 cars in one weekend in 2 different series. I don't know if they've done that yet.
I don't think they have. Josh White.
They're running
Josh White in the 86. Nice to see him coming back a race early than he intended because he was supposed to come back at Bristol, but really nice to see Josh White getting a warm up for Bristol, and he's running a new car at Bristol, and I don't know if you've seen the paint scheme that Josh White's running, but I love it. It's like
I have not.
it's a brand new car to club, and it's got an Ilmore. So Landon Huffman, Landon Huffman, I mean, it's gonna be a much club's got a much better car coming in. So if you want to drive that, you may as well. So those are pretty much some of the notable entrants. I'm really hoping Brayton Laster can turn this into a top five after getting seventh at Springfield, but he probably is going to need a lot of the miracles again. Again, I don't get why we're running this during this. Well, I do know why, but it still bums me that we're running this during the Southern 500. And then a lot of other stuff is running this week. Like the Whelen Modified Tour is back at Oswego, I think it's pronounced. I don't think it's pronounced Oswego. I think it's pronounced Owego. But sadly, there's only like 18 cars entered, which is really sad because the Modified Tour, because that's a really bad for the Modified Tour, because years ago they'd get like so many entries at many races, but they have only 18 cars entered, and one of them is withdrawing as well. So it's technically going to be only 17 cars. But if I scroll down to the entry list here, Luke Baldwin is going to be withdrawing, and that's a bit surprising. But I think part of the issue is because there's a clash between the Smart Tour,
Smart
and
mods? Yeah.
and the Cars Tour, which I think he's actually pulling double duty in. And Baldwin, and I can see why, because Luke Baldwin has fallen to ninth in points in the Whelen Modified Tour, and because of that clash, maybe he wants to prioritize the Smart Tour because he's leading the points there.
And Jack Baldwin's also high up in the points in Smart Tour. I want to
I'd
point
love to
that
see.
out.
I'd love to see Jack Baldwin move up to like Luke has. Jack seems like a cool guy. There's some other
I love him.
Yeah, there's some other notable entrants in the modified race that are not full time. Another full timer, it looks like, has also dropped out of the Whelen Modified Tour. Tyler Berry, who usually is full time in the 59 car, looks like he's dropped out as well. So that's a shame. But looking at some of the notables, we have Andy Lewis Jr. in the 8 car, which that car is normally driven by John Michael Chenette. Jake Lutz in the 14. Ron Silk is back in the 16. Nice to see the former champion in the 16. He's back. We also have Mike Christopher Jr., who's I think the nephew of Ted Christopher in the 77.
Sounds about right.
Brian Sonis in the 12. And Tyler Catalano. And we have the return of the third Catalano brother, Tyler Catalano, in the 84. But a lot of but yeah, just some of the notables. Everyone else is full time there in that race. And then if I go to some of the other, so that's basically what's going on there. And then just to kind of get a lightning round out of everything else, like I think it would be good to yeah. And then additionally, there's also the Canadian Series running at Mosport. This is their last road course. They don't have an entry list out yet, so we can't really talk about that. But I think it would be good to maybe go on a lightning run of everything else to talk about. So, in addition,
for Nashville, right? Or is that next week?
Yeah, IndyCar is running at Nashville this week, but I'm curious what's going to happen there. I mean, I know Pelot's got the title blocked down, but we had a great race there last year. So I really hope Nashville goes great again this year. So I do want to also delve into some of the other news, like the fact that Connor Zilisch, worst kept secret, I wouldn't even call it a secret, is going to be full-time at Trackhouse and Cup next year. And
I'm so excited.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to set the world on fire outside of the road courses just because I mean, it's the Cup cars drive very different from the Xfinity cars. So I don't think he's going to set the world on fire yet, but he's definitely, by year 2, he'll have something cooking, I think, outside of the road courses. So, like, it's going to be really fun watching him and SVG battle next year on the road courses, without a doubt. And then, now they did not announce a car number. So could they be moving Zilisch to the 87 from the 99? That would mean the flagship number goes away. Because the 99
I tweeted this earlier today. Um, I think they should move Chastain to the 99 and Zilisch to the 87.
Oh,
Because
that's a
99
bold.
is like Trackhouse's thing.
Oh, that's a bold
And
move.
I think Ross Chastain is the face of Trackhouse.
Although I feel like one might be better as a flagship number because I mean Chip Ganassi had the one as their flagship for a while with Jamie
I feel like
McMurray
99 is
and
more
Kurt
essential to
Busch.
Trackhouse, though.
I don't know how I feel about that, but I feel like Chastain's gotten an identity with the one by this point, especially considering
I'll say
that's the
this. I
car he
think,
did the
yeah.
Hail Melon in.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's true. That's true. I also think, I think they should. I don't know why Gisbergen's in the 88. I know I'm beating a dead horse, but he should be in the 97.
You know, maybe they, maybe they could move Zilisch to the 88, but I think Red Bull, because they announced Red Bull and WeatherTech are going to be sponsoring Zilisch, I think they're going to have him in the 87 because it seems like that's what
That's
Red
what
Bull
I think so.
wants.
Yeah.
Now, I could see the 99 sticking around though as maybe the new Project 91. I could see them changing that to Project 99.
That would be
They
weird.
I could see it potentially if they want to keep the flagship number around. I could see it. And I do think that they will run it next year because the reason they only ran it at Daytona was because they were focusing on Connor Zilisch and his cup
Yeah.
starts. Like like I'd love to see that a lot. I'd love to see Elio get a second chance in with Project 91 or whatever it's going to be. There's so many other names I could name for that. I mean, what about the guy who just won the Brazil championship, Rubens Barrichello? That would be really cool because
Rubens Barrichello, yeah.
he just won the NASCAR Brazil Series championship. I would love to see that too.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. And the biggest news this week, though, is easily, though, Kaulig going to Ram, without a doubt. One of the biggest news stories.
Hmm.
And they're not running one, not two, not three, not four, but five. Five trucks in their first venture.
In addition to two Cup teams and presumably two or three Xfinity teams
I
next year.
believe they're going down to two Xfinity cars, from what it
That
seems
makes
like.
sense, but still, that's 9 cars.
Yeah. I mean, from a lot of the rumors, I'm not exactly sure. The driver lineup, I know the biggest one that people have been mentioning, the biggest one that people have been mentioning is Daniel Dye because I mean they made the announcement at one of his father's Dodge dealerships. That seems like the biggest rumor in terms of who's going to fill this. I've also heard they mentioned on Door Bumper Clear that Butterbean's got a good shot at one of those trucks, which that would be really fun.
Didn't Michael Waltrip accidentally say during a Michigan truck race that Cletus was going to Ram? Like, could he be part of that?
I'm not I'm not sure to be honest. So
I remember him saying something like that.
yeah, I know he did, but I don't know exactly. I don't know exactly what's gonna happen with that. But but yeah, I just felt it would be good to mention that. But yeah, I've heard some other rumors. I've also heard a rumor of Raja being linked to Ram, but I don't know if I can believe that.
I don't know about that.
I've heard Tony Bridinger's name come up as well. I've heard Eckes might drop down to trucks, but back down to trucks. But there's a lot of names that could be out there. Apparently, they also want to do that whole TV show. Like, remember how Roush did that TV show to get someone a ride, like 20 years ago?
Oh, yeah, that. Okay.
Yeah, it seems like Ram wants to do that again. I don't know if they're gonna put Cletus in that for now. I mean, from what it's looking like, and this is just my guess, they run four drivers, full time drivers, and then the fifth truck may be a rotation for like rookies or maybe Cletus. I don't know if NASCAR is going to approve Cletus to run full time because he's only ran four ARCA races. I don't know if they would approve him to go right to trucks full time.
I don't think they should. I think Cletus needs to run more before he gets approved for
Like,
a full
like
truck season.
Cletus, I think, should either run a full ARCA schedule or a half, like half ARCA, half truck deal, in my opinion. Either one of those, either full ARCA or half ARCA, half trucks. That's personally what I think he should do. And
Because I'm thinking about like at Charlotte, he tore up a bunch of cars because he spun or he made like a big mistake on the restart, and I think like, well, he needs to clean that up before he goes into the top three series.
yeah. So, and then speaking of trucks, like there's like I know Denny mentioned it that there's a whole rumor that the truck series is going to be changing, like in 2028 or something like that, or going to spec in 2028, which I actually am not going to believe that because that's been a rumor for like over
Spec?
a that's been a rumor for like over a decade that they were changing stuff with the trucks, like major changes, not like the small nose changes that they've done in
Mm,
past years. The truck series has been running the same chassis since the first year, 1995. I just want to point that out.
really?
Yeah, they've been running the same chassis since then, but they've wanted to
That's pretty
change things.
cool.
They've wanted to change it, but I don't know if they're gonna actually do it. The leading rumor I've heard, which I've heard 2027, they're gonna have the trucks go to composite bodies, which I personally feel that has more legitimacy or more truth than trucks going to full on spec. I
Yeah, I don't
feel
know
like
about that.
I feel like trucks doing composite bodies to me is more has more of a chance of happening in all honesty. And then there's also the talk that apparently they're going to change the O'Reilly cars after the trucks, which I mean, I know which
No,
I
man.
I was I mean, I was surprised about that because like Denny Hamlin was actually advocating for it because and I think this is why. Now, I think the Xfinity series puts on good rate, or it will be the O'Reilly series. I think it puts on good rate. I'm not going to say every week. The O'Reilly series has has been pretty good this year. I will admit it has not really been that good this year.
They're having a down year.
The truck series has been the best series this year, in my opinion. I know all the Xfinity Glazers aren't going to like that I said that, but the Xfinity series has not been good this year, which I think in part is because driver etiquette has been god awful this year, and drive in Xfinity, which has led to some pretty bad racing or wreck fests. Too many of them.
Yep,
Which
like
I just
Martinsville.
yeah. So like after Martinsville, I was like out loud saying never called this series the best thing again until this gets
Wow.
fixed. I'm serious. Like I was like adamant about that. Until we fix something, I can't call this the best series. Which I mean, I still believe Trucks is the best. And I mean, even if that race didn't happen, I would still have said Trucks is the best series, in my opinion,
Hmm.
which this year at least. Like last year, Trucks was easily the worst series. I feel like this year, Xfinity and Trucks flipped roles. Like the past
Yeah.
few Xfinity the past few years has had good racing. So, but I think part of why they may want to change it is they've been running the same car since 2010. And like
Yeah.
I
Midway
know
through
they
2010.
and I know they've changed it if, like here and there with going to composite bodies in 2018 and other stuff, but like they are running old parts, and these parts are really hard to find, and there's chassis that are hard to find. Hendrick's not even building new stuff for their Xfinity program. They're taking hand me downs from the late Gen 6 era. So like
Hmm.
this isn't going to be sustainable. Like like I know Arca wanted like Arca was not going to last with the Gen 4 for much longer because the Gens
Yeah.
4 died in 2007. Arca was still running the Gen 4 full time until like 2017.
2017.
Yeah, so like I just think about it. Like I know we want to keep this car around, but what's going to happen when all the car counts start dipping because there's no cars or no parts around? Like
Yeah.
so like I feel like people aren't getting that. And while I don't anticipate Xfinity changing until maybe 2030, the earliest in my opinion, I don't see it changing until 2030 or that
2030, man.
in my opinion, like I don't see it changing until the 2030s. But like we're going to get to a point where the car counts are going to start dropping because there's no parts available and like and there's going to be no cars really left to buy. So like I can see why like I think the rumor is that they want to next genify but not go the go with the full next gen. because they know,
I hope
which,
they don't. Yeah.
I mean, I do think that NASCAR is doing and I mean, NASCAR is not saying that the next gen is perfect. I mean, Steve O'Donnell admitted on Eric Estip's interview that the next gen doesn't put on good racing on short tracks and road courses. We want to fix that. Which I'm glad they're admitting there's a problem. Which I imagine those 10th floor meetings, they are definitely admitting they are trying to fix things. So I'm glad NASCAR is trying to fix things. And I mean, so like I'm really glad that they actually are making an effort to fix things before they perhaps have Xfinity run the next gen. Because before you know it, if the next gen is fixed in the Cup side of things, maybe it won't be a bad idea to run Xfinity, to have the Cup cars, to have the next gen also run in O'Reilly, which I think they could get it right. But it's also a matter if the teams want to change anything, which again, teams, yeah. But I think also so like I just wanted to, and I mean I would rather they keep what they have now, but the problem is it sustainable too? That's just what I think what Denny was also trying to say, because it's not going to last forever. So I don't think NASCAR is saying, "Oh no, these two series are having better race in the Cup. Let's try to make them worse." I don't think that's what NASCAR is trying to do at all.
Yeah. No, 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 no.
Like I don't want people to think that. I think that they're saying, "Oh, everything's getting too old. We got to change it." Like I feel like people aren't getting that. So,
Mm-hmm.
I do want to then cut to and speaking of Xfinity or O'Reilly next year, there's apparently talk about, and I'm just going to be short about. There's also talk about like allowing Cup guys to run more races, but I don't. That's not going to
Yeah.
change anything because Ross Chastain was the only guy who ran 5 races, who ran the limit. So like, I don't think anyone like Kyle Busch is going to come back and run 10 races if he wanted to. I mean, I know Austin
I think
Dillon
it's still a
said,
good rule to have in place.
yeah, I think what we have now is good. I mean, I know Tommy Baldwin also suggested something where they limit the amount of Cup guys in a single race, like put a cap of 5. Like if like no more than 5 Cup guys can run this race. Like I know he suggested that, but I don't see them going like crazy with the limits. Like they're probably not going to let Cup guys run in the playoffs. I don't think that's ever going to be allowed again. But like I just don't think it's something that is warranted anyway because I don't think Cup guys are going to run more races than 5 even if they change it because as I said Ross Chastain, the only guy who even ran the limit. I don't think there's really much demand. So like I don't really think there's a lot of demand for it. And I know Austin did say something that you could sell sponsorship easier if it's 10 races, but who's going to do that? You're prioritizing selling
Yeah.
sponsors in Cup. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe if they have a leftover inventory from Cup, maybe, but I don't know. So I'm going to now move on to some lawsuit news before we get into the last thing on the show, which is going to be who's going to win the playoffs. But on the there's some lawsuit news again that has come out. There's actually a hearing scheduled on Thursday, which might reveal some more things related to discovery within the 2311 FRM case. But 2311 and Front Row Motorsports have claimed that they will shut down if they lose this lawsuit and do not get their charters back. And it
Yikes.
was also reported that by Bob Cockers and others that NASCAR is trying to sell that one of the charters and that they may have a deal to, or they want to, depends on if the court allows them to sell it, to Redacted. And the implication is could this speed us up? And they said in those documents like that this is someone who's been trying to get into the Cup Series for a while. And some people are thinking that it's Dale Jr.
That's
People
what I
think it
think. Yeah.
people think that it's Dale Jr. or maybe someone else like from Xfinity or
He's
Trucks
changed his mind as of recently about cup racing, I think.
because Dale Jr. I think wants to get into it, especially after how much exposure he got working with Chris Stapleton's whiskey brand. But I just wanted to definitely talk about that, and I think what also happened is, yeah, going back through the lawsuit, like there's been talk about who else could get those charters. Like I'd imagine Legacy Motor Club is going to look try to get Jesse
Yeah.
Love. Like like they probably are going to want Jesse Love. Like RFK may want one in case the Rick Ware deal blows in their face. Like I feel some teams from Xfinity, maybe Big Machine may want, maybe even some outsiders like Andretti, Action Express, or
Machine.
Big Machine. I could see because Scott Bruschetta's got a lot of money on his plate. Like I feel like that there's a lot that could definitely be at stake here. So
I mean, isn't Andretti kind of already here with Spire in a way? Like, because they're part of the
yeah,
same
but
motorsports group.
I'd imagine NASCAR would let it slide because they're two separate teams at the same time. But I don't know. I mean, they let Dale Jr. run. I mean, it seems like they're going to let Dale Jr. run in Cup. I mean, they let him run the Daytona 500. But oh yeah, one more thing. Actually, one more. So I just wanted to kind of talk about this, some more of this lawsuit stuff. And I mean, there were some more things as well that were discussed between both parties regarding the lawsuit. Just give me a second to kind of, just give me a second. And I mean, 2311 also said that the opposition is a brazen effort to deny reality related to the injunction. It is striking in its failure to even address most of the smoking gun documents that admit NASCAR viewed competitive entry as a threat. Like, there's a lot more going on. Like, but while I pull up some more of the lawsuit stuff, there is some more F1 news today. Finally, after months of speculation, Checo, Sergio Perez, and Valtteri Bottas are confirmed for Cadillac in F1.
I will be rooting for them. I love Cadillac. I love them in IMSA. I'm gonna root for them in F1.
Yeah. So again, with the lawsuit stuff, I am curious how this is going to go. The try and Jeff Gluck was also implying that it does not seem like either side is going to settle the case at this point. He thinks the only way they settle is the day before the trial, which is December 1st. I mean, in my opinion, I think they should settle because it's life or death for 2311 and Front Row Motorsports right now, in my opinion.
100%.
Like I want them to. I mean, I do want them to, in ways, succeed on some things with their lawsuit, but think about it right now. It's life or death for them. And like, there
I
was
think
also
Denny Hamlin was given an inch, and he's trying to take a mile. Him specifically with this lawsuit.
yeah, it's like but yeah, like I just feel that they should settle at this point because I feel that that the teams could perhaps get something they want out of a settlement. Not everything, but they could easily get something. And like I just feel that this is something that I just wanted to really mention because this lawsuit is something that I mean fans are getting tired of hearing about it. I mean, if you remember the judge in the case, Kenneth Bell, was like, you guys got to work this out. I mean, I don't want to deal with this, but if I have to, I will make a decision. I mean, I can't blame him because this whole thing is a massive S show, basically.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Like, and like, we don't even know what the teams are trying to accomplish. Like, I feel like the monopoly thing is only trying to cover up for trying to get a better charter deal, which, I mean, I would be in favor of a better charter deal or money revenue sharing deal, but like, I feel like I feel like that it's just a cover for that part, in all honesty. And I do personally side more slightly with 2311 in Front Row, but I just feel that the case is flawed because they're not explicit about what they're suing over. So
Yeah.
but yeah, I just wanted to get that. I just wanted to kind of talk about that a little bit. And then, I mean, that's not the only NASCAR thing because we have the Rick Ware Legacy trial in January, which is literally a month before Daytona, and the Clash is like right after that month ends. So like, that's basically life or death for Rick Ware Racing. So like, I feel that they got to settle that case for sure as well
They absolutely do.
because like, if like, I know Legacy really wants a third car, but like, they got to figure something out there because but again, it feels like Legacy's trying to go all the way and keep throwing things at a wall and make it stick. So like, I don't know. It just seems like I feel like that case, the Legacy and Rick Ware case, is more of a mess than the 2311 front row lawsuit. I feel like that this is much more of a massive S show, we'll call it. So the last thing so now this is gonna be the last thing we'll talk about here. I wanted to actually make our playoff predictions, which
I got
we're gonna
mine.
we're gonna go by round here. So who do you think's gonna be out in the round of 16?
I posted mine to Twitter a couple days ago, so I'm gonna go off of this that I already have. So I think round of 16 out. I'm actually gonna go 16th through 13th. I'm gonna be that
Okay,
specific.
yeah, that's
I
fine.
think I think Austin Dillon is gonna be 16th. I don't think he's gonna even come close to making the second round.
No,
Um, hate to say it, I don't think Josh Berry's making it out of the first round. Unfortunately. I figured we need a surprise exit for the first round, so I picked Ross Chastain for that.
oh, that's a surprise.
Yeah. And just based off the fact that he's coming in with not a lot of like playoff points, I'm gonna say Alex Bowman also out
And
in the round of
interesting
16.
pick. I'm gonna go a little different with the round of 16. I also believe Austin Dillon and Josh Berry, like they both don't really have tracks favorable to them. Berry doesn't really have tracks favorable to him in the round of 16. The only one I
No.
could see being favorable to him is Gateway, and then I'm actually gonna say, and I know Gateway is favorable to him as well. I'm gonna say Cindric is out after the round of 16.
Really?
Yeah, I'm gonna say he's out,
That's fair.
and this might be a surprise. SVG, I think, is out after the round of 16. Like,
Ooh, we're going very different with ours.
I just don't think that 16 points is enough of a cushion. Like, he's got like 16 playoff. He's like 16 points to the cutoff. Like, I just don't think that's enough of a cushion. All right, round of 12 now.
I have Austin Cindric out in the round of 12. Both 2311 cars, Reddick and Bubba, I see both of them getting eliminated. Because Reddick has just not had like as much speed as he did last year, I feel like. Like he's had speed, but like I don't know. I just don't see him going farther than the round of 12. Same with Bubba. He was good early on this year, but he's kind of fallen off since then. Except for the Brickyard 400 win, of course, and also Chase Elliott.
Wow.
I don't see him going to the round of 8.
Yeah, that's a bit of a shock. But round of 12,
Mhm.
I'm going to go Ross Chastain, Joey Logano. I mean, I could see him getting through the round of 16.
That's fair. That's
but
fair.
but Logano does not have many playoff points. So like I don't think it's gonna and like Logano has also been worse this year than last year. So like I don't think he has enough of a cushion to make it through like he did last year. And then Bubba Wallace and Alex Bowman I think
Mhm.
are all out after the round of 12. But yeah, Joey but I could see a scenario where Joey gets eliminated after the round of 16 instead. But I personally think round of 12 just because of who else is in the
Yeah,
playoffs.
same.
But I think Logano is out after the round of 12. I mean, he would have been if Alex Bowman wasn't disqualified but last year, but I just think Logano
So
doesn't have
ridiculous.
I don't think he has it this year. But well, he wouldn't have made it if Bowman wasn't disqualified, which again, don't cheat. Don't cheat. That's all I really can say. Don't cheat. But yeah, Bubba, Bowman, Chastain are the other guys I don't see making it. All right, round of 8.
I mean, we may as well just say our championship fours now because there's only going to be 4 left. Or unless you want to just say round of 8 eliminations first.
Rather do eliminations.
All right. Cool. I have Briscoe going to the round of 8 because he's been really surprisingly
Same.
consistent this season, I feel like.
Same. I think Chase
I
Briscoe makes it that far.
I think he absolutely will. I have Logano out. I don't see him getting to the championship 4, but I do see him fluking his way into the round of 8.
I don't see it this year.
This one may be a bit of a shocker. I see Larson out in the round of 8.
Interesting.
I don't see him going to the 4. And then I also have Blaney out.
Well, no Penske cars in the Final Four.
No, I just don't think this year is gonna. I just don't see it happening,
You
really.
don't see Penske getting it. I mean, a lot of these tracks are very favorable for Penske, though. But
I know, I just don't see it happening.
my round of 8 eliminations are Larson, Elliott, Briscoe, and Reddick. The main reason Larson is because he has been in a big slump ever since the Indy 500 Charlotte double. Ever since the
Yeah,
double,
that's just yeah.
he's been in a massive slump. So I don't think it's going to carry. It's going to work with him enough. And then I see Chase Elliott
Yeah.
missing, just because he's got to win more. I mean, I know he's been consistent all year, but winning is key in this format. So like, if he doesn't win again, it's going to be hard for him. And then Briscoe, while he's been great this year, I don't think it's going to be enough. And then Reddick is the last guy in the round of 8 that I see eliminated. And then my final 4 is going to be Hamlin, Christopher Bell, Blaney, and Byron.
We have almost the same championship 4, except instead of Blaney in the championship 4, I'm going with Shane Van Gisbergen.
Whoa, that's big. I don't see that.
I see him
happening,
going
though.
all the way.
No, I don't see it. I mean, like, I don't see it. Like, I mean, maybe
It's
he wins
fair.
maybe he wins Talladega, but like, has he really ever been in contention at the super speedways? Like, I mean, I know he led at Talladega last year, but he wasn't in contention at the end. And then
I
my
mean,
championship,
yeah.
and then my championship pick is going to be Christopher Bell.
I would love to see that happen. I'm a Bell fan. But me personally, I think it's finally happening. My championship pick
Oh,
is Denny Hamlin.
whoa! I've heard a lot of people say that too, but the curse. Just I just don't think the curse is ever going to be broken. I mean, if I mean, Brody, when I was talking to him the other day, he still owns half this podcast. Don't worry. He was saying Hamlin. He was saying I think it's Denny's year. Well, we say that every year, and it's not his year. So like, I don't see it.
I feel like this year's different though, because he didn't fall off in the summer like he usually does. Like he won Dover.
Yeah, that's true, but I just don't see it. Like, and Dover's a track Denny's always been good at. So like,
I
that
thought
might have
he
just been a.
didn't used to be good at. He's just been good at it recently. Like he used to,
I
he said he wasn't that good
I just
for a
don't see
while.
it this year. I don't see it happening. But like, I just don't see it happening. Like, and Logano, I also don't see going far because it's not an even year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even if it was an even year, I wouldn't even see him making it far because he just has not been as winning this year or in contention for races like last year he was in a lot. Like I just don't see it.
I see Gisbergen winning the Roval and then coasting off a good finish at Talladega into the championship 4.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest. I think but I think Bell's got it this although I know everyone's saying it's gonna be a Penske car again. I mean Ryan Blaney I know has been good at Phoenix, but the Penske cars were awful at Phoenix in the spring this year.
It was all about the Toyotas this year.
At Phoenix. So like I feel it's gonna be down to either Bell or Hamlin. I mean, and because of the it's his year curse, I think Bell's gonna do it. And I think Penske finally loses a championship in the next gen era. So
I mean, Bell hasn't really. I mean, he did win Spring Phoenix, but at the same time, ever since that hot streak of 3 straight wins, he has not gotten another win.
I think what's also gonna help him is New Hampshire is in the playoffs this year, and that's like his best track.
That is his best track for sure.
So I think that's also what's really gonna help him. So I think that's actually the last thing that's really on our plate. Do you know about anything else going on in racing?
Nah, not really. mean, I don't think so. No.
Yeah, that's probably going to be it for today then. So this is a great episode, by the way. I know we went longer than we're supposed to, but there's just so much going on. Like it happens every week. But I mean, but again, thank you guys for all watching tonight's episode 500 miles. My name is Adam Relkin, joined today by Jack Farmer. Again, thank you for joining me, Jack.
And this is awesome.
Yeah, and next week we'll have another new guest. Hopefully, we'll see who it ends up being. So we will see you guys next week. Thank you guys for all tuning in.